back, everybody. I thought it might be interesting to take the Toronto Board of Trade debate that happened last night in Toronto with 6 of the mayoral candidates and distill that, shrink it down into a 10-minute summary. Now, I failed at that. I could not get this down to 10 minutes. It'd be more like 15, 16 minutes. But if you have 15 or 16 minutes, you can get a summary of the debate. Here's the rules that I applied to myself in order to cut this down. Rule number 1 was if they get asked a question, I'm only going to cut in the answers. So what happens a lot in debates when people get asked questions is that they spend a whole lot of time on build up and backstory and, in my experience and my time and blah, 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 blah. And then maybe you get like a second of answer. So what I'm trying to do here is just give you the second of answer. Okay? So that's the goal anyway. And then I also thought it might be fun, especially about the 40-minute mark when I was editing this, in the debate, when I started to get bored, that I would just clip out some of the fights so you could have a little fight night fun in the middle of this presentation. So we'll have some debatey stuff, some fight night stuff, and then the conclusion, 15, 16 minutes, and you'll know everything you need to know to make a pick for your candidate for mayor. Probably important right now because mail-in voting starts pretty soon. So here we go without further ado.
Good evening, everybody.
Okay, I'm going to be over here in the corner narrating a bit, commenting,
and the top polling candidates
at my discretion.
Have been invited
Okay,
to join us
I'll be
here
watching
on
with you
stage
though.
Tonight. Olivia Chow, Anna Bailao, Josh Matlow, Mitzi Hunter, Mark Saunders, Brad Bradford. Okay, everybody, down to business. The City of Toronto is dealing with a deficit shortfall. How would you deal with that?
We need other levels of government to come to the table. I propose modest increase to property tax to build 25,000 units of housing. I'm also looking at other revenue sources.
Anna Bailao.
$1.6 billion. We're also suffering from a $46 billion pressure operating and capital over the next 10 years.
Good that she separates operating and capital.
We cannot solve this with property tax increases. It starts with the province uploading the Gardner and the DVP.
Josh Matlow.
We cannot just wait for Doug Ford to come and bail us out and save us. We need new revenue. We need to raise property taxes. We need a corporate commercial parking lot levy. We need to do what we can within the existing City of Toronto Act.
Mitzi Hunter, you're up next.
I've issued a very comprehensive platform.
Mark Saunders.
Making sure we measure outcomes is key and critical.
Brad Bradford.
There's many examples where the city ends up holding the bag for the province and the federal government.
You see that conceit, though, here, right, where I'm only putting in what I think are direct answers to questions. You see how fast we're moving.
Okay, 9 minutes, as the clock indicates, a sort of open debate among you. Open tendering. What do you think of that idea?
The savings that doesn't exist. At the end of the day, it's going to cost us a lot more.
This is a fallacy. These are vested interests being protected.
Fallacy.
Please, one at a time.
So the City of Toronto is the only city in Ontario that runs a closed shop. Since they saved 21%.
We got our first facial reaction here, and it's a good one.
So here we are, entering the form of Polititalk. Mr. Bradford is flip-flopping. He already voted closed. Now, because it's mayoral race, it's now time to say open. My percentage is not to go above the rate of inflation, but she will not answer that question.
Oh, second reaction. Oh, hey there. What about me, man? What about me? I love it.
20 seconds to respond to that.
I'm a former police chief who quit on the job. This guy walked away.
Harsh.
I said very publicly, family first, which is why I have my wife's kidney right here. I'm just not sure who you are, Brad.
This is funny.
Owned.
Legalizing multiplex.
I have a plan
You
to
didn't know that he
build
was going to bring up his wife's
22,000
kidney.
units of affordable, below average market rent units. We actually reverse the death spiral of lowering service and raising fares. We get rid of those potholes and that we clear the snow when it's needed. We have a budget that is transparent. Reasonable property taxes, 6%, which is just 0.5% above what the city has already approved for this year. And for those who are $80,000 a year and below, it's 3%.
Okay, the original question, though, was about open tender.
I'm against it.
So, Josh Matlow, come on in. You haven't spoken yet.
I certainly would not go with
Brad
Bradford's suggestion that we need to start throwing our own workers under the bus.
Under the bus. He's not happy with that.
Who's going to be
shot.
the best candidate to negotiate the best deal? Or somebody that is going to be the
Bradford,
Premier's
for the last
puppet
The real,
to the
the
table.
real
Pragmatic
question is,
solutions to
why
the table.
wouldn't people support open tendering? Jobs to
there are
the city with our fair
You
wage
have to
process
respect labor rights.
and ensure
Didn't take long. The shouting has started.
Question number 2 is
crosstalk
about shelter. Talk about some ideas
Is
you've
real.
got as it relates
Shelter.
to shelter.
Okay,
And everybody
shelter.
having the dignity of a housing. Triple the amount of funds
Of a
in the
housing.
rent bank. Create an anti-displacement unit to help renters to fight rent evictions. Has money to help shelters
these
with
are
staffing
answers.
as well. It's
I cut
$5
these
million
in 'cause they
of
are-
rent supplements for victims of domestic
This-
violence,
of all the
doubling the
sections,
amount of modular supportive housing, which is a kind
Bailau
of
had the most
construction that can
answers
be
for this
done
one.
a lot quicker. I've done it in my community in the middle of a pandemic. 44 apartments
Thank you,
that
Anna
we've
Bailau.
built in 6
Regardless
months.
of what
Josh
you think of the
Matlow?
answers,
And they want to be able to separate the units in their house to be able to supplement their income. We need increased capacity. We need better environments in our shelters that have integrity and respect.
Okay,
We need
Josh
to ensure
Matlow,
that there's a
that's your time,
pathway
I'm
to a
afraid.
home.
Mitzi Hunter, you're up next.
I want to add 400 shelter beds.
Oh, a gentlemanly moment here. Posted
Courtney's
no
Give you
false
program
five
alarm.
as
extra
well.
seconds because the Post-its fell on the
Yeah.
floor. Mark Saunders, a minute to you.
My plan involves making approvals go through within a year, having a navigator follow it to ensure, measuring City Hall and measuring builders to make sure that there is proper accountability, and making sure that at the end of the day, we have the opportunity to build.
He does-
When we
he-
have
he's
people
big
that are
on
saying
metrics,
that
Saunders.
they're
He
going to create
says
their
that
own
a
plan
lot.
and outsmart, it's wrong. Government's responsibility is to create the environment, and it's up to the builders to have that environment to build. And if that doesn't work, we're in this.
It's like that New York crime
Brad
tracking
Bradford, a
thing,
minute to
right?
you.
That crime stats thing that they
just a
started
few
in the
short years
70s.
ago, the
And
city of Toronto had 6,000
watch The
shelter
Wire.
beds.
Just watch The Wire.
Today we have
Sorry.
9,000. They're always 99% full. Now, most municipalities in the GTHA haven't built any shelter beds, and everybody comes here to Toronto. And it is a fact that on a typical night, 30% of
I
our
bet you didn't
shelters
expect
are
that he's going to
occupied
suggest
by
that we should
refugees.
not build any
And they
more
need a
shelters,
place
that
to
building
live.
shelters is
But
wrong.
The federal government has the
here
onus
it
to
comes.
step up and help with some support. A lot of the time, I feel like the federal government has taken us out for dinner and then walked out on the bill. The ultimate solution,
Alston
the ultimate solution.
Love that.
The ultimate.
I know, this is cheap. It's cheap to make fun of when somebody stumbles, but it's funny.
I
Sorry.
built 59 units, new homes for individuals with wraparound supports.
I like it. It's funny. It's my video. These guys, Chow's asleep, Bailau's stuck in cringe face, and Matlow smells something delicious, I think. I don't know. He's looking on curiously. He looks like he's listening. Fair points to
Okay.
Matlow.
Can't
He
keep
looks
building
like he's
shelters.
listening.
Continue
We
the
need to
story
build
in a bit.
housing.
Olivia Chow, you get the last of the minute-long addresses before we go to the open forum.
Immediately, what we need to do is have these rent supplements to take people out from their shelters and
Okay,
have
thank you,
wraparound
Olivia Chow.
services for
We are
them.
now going to have
That's
spoken for
what
quite a
we
while.
need.
That was all I
What's
could
the
get.
biggest problem in getting more housing built in the city right now?
Biggest problem.
The biggest problem is that the city announces plans like Housing Now that's based on false assumptions.
We need less talk and more action. It takes
Boom, there
nearly
you go.
3 years
Tagline.
to get an application through a zoning bylaw amendment, and that is just too slow.
That is not acceptable. You have to have deadlines, either say yes
Everybody-
or no.
everybody
Let's be
agrees the planning
transparent,
process is too
make
slow.
it digital.
Supply
probably
will
could've just
never
said that.
build supportive housing in this city.
I do have a plan for building more. The city can be the builder.
Yeah,
We
that
can
book.
build 8 stories.
Independent reviews are showing that Toronto is scoring last. We have to have the ability of creating
Literally,
a process
they all agree
which
on
does
this
not
point,
happen
that
right now
that the
because
process
people
is too
here
slow.
caused this
Probably could have
bottleneck
skipped this
right
whole
from the
section of the
start.
debate.
You haven't seen a lot of mid-rise buildings constructed on our avenues. It's because we make it as hard to build a 6-story building as we do a 60-story building.
In these last 10 years, when Mr. Bradford and others have been in charge, there are
And
more
others,
policy
whoever they are.
in the policy advisor in the planning department than people that actually do the planning application approval process.
I thought that was
Housing
interesting.
now has not worked. It has not provided not one unit of affordable housing.
Is it true? Not one new unit?
3,000 under construction, 1,600
Under construction.
completed, and 15,000 that have been approved.
Okay. Public safety has been a very big issue lately. I don't have to tell anybody
I don't know
here.
if that's
Josh
true.
Matlow, you get the first
This is
word.
not a
What
fact-checking
ideas do you
video.
have to make Toronto a safer city?
And there should be trained
Make Toronto safer.
staff who are working with
Well,
us
they do.
as a rapid response team. The police are called as the last resort.
And that's why I have a plan, public libraries with youth hubs.
My plan involving TTC and making it safe is the best plan. Having an assist button instead of a help button
that will install platform edge doors. I will boost the security presence with special constables, cellular service, so that it doesn't matter who your carrier is.
No, don't call 911, call 211. And because those calls will then be diverted to Toronto Community Crisis Response, because I'm upping their budget.
We invest in programs like our Toronto Community Response Unit to respond to someone when they're in a mental health crisis.
But a number of you have poked a number of others of you, and we got to do a little fact-checking before we go too far.
Okay, so now we get into, now we're at the sort of 10-minute mark in the video. Let's take a little stretchy break and let's enjoy a little bit of fight night here. So these are just like one-on-one matchups. I pulled them from different points of the debate. People having a good scrap, taking some shots at each other. Who doesn't love that? Okay? All right, let's get ready. And first up is Josh Matlow. He's going to take a shot at somebody. Let's see how it goes. Okay, let's roll it.
You know, Anna, I didn't go along to get along just to get appointments. You know, like the reality is.
You didn't get anything done.
Whoa.
You didn't get anything done.
That's right. Well,
that's right.
And I imagine Nick Kuvalis will help you get a lot done. But
and then Nick Kuvalis.
I have a full team.
Nobody who's not on Twitter cares about Nick Kuvalis, by the way. Nick Kuvalis, whatever the fuck his name is.
Just for a moment, if you would, with all due respect.
You know, I've got Flip-Flop Brad here. It's wonderful.
Flip-Flop Brad.
I don't know where this discussion on guns and machine guns are coming from, because that's what. Okay, what I brought up.
You did bring it up.
What I brought up was
owned
that. Bless her on that.
There was a few more things that grew under Mr. Saunders. Homicides increased by 23%. Auto theft increased by 80%.
Everybody
and
was on
homicides
Saunders
by
in
shooting
this
went
debate.
up by 48%.
He was the target.
Do you blame him for that?
That was under his leadership.
Do you blame him for it?
I'll put my record up against any former chief or anybody here on the podium on any given day. But, you know, Ms. Chow, you know, getting back to you, you in the seat. It's all about taxes.
You in the seat.
If you can't afford living right now, I guarantee you,
Okay.
Olivia Chow.
We've talked about that. We've talked about quickly on that, please.
Ripping up a bike lane costs a lot of money. It's wasting money. Money's already put to build the bike lane, and you want to rip it up. That's called
common conservatives that it's okay to waste money as long as it's money you don't care about.
Further congestion
Being fair
for those
here,
important
let's be
goods
fair
that
here.
gotta move.
We
We
said
need
Anna
practical
Barlow, then
solutions
Mitzi Hunter, then
to
Josh.
get Torontonians
Okay,
moving,
Bradford, hang
and
on.
tearing down the Gardeners.
Stand by. That's
Do
enough.
I not get an opportunity to?
Yeah, you will get an opportunity to speak to that.
Have it all, everywhere,
He's in
have it
trouble.
nowhere,
He's in
and rip
danger.
it apart.
Mitzi Hunter, please.
That's what we have.
Mitzi
we need
Hunter,
common
please.
sense and pragmatism.
Mitzi Hunter, please. Stand by, everybody. Mitzi Hunter, you have the floor.
Falsetto there. Mitzi Hunter, please.
So getting the city moving is...
Mark Saunders has the
This
floor.
is what 21st century
Way down to the garden.
Mark Saunders,
and
please.
on and on and on and
Mark
on
Saunders,
we go.
please.
when
Okay,
he
now this is the
decides
best
to
one.
sell off the Greenbelt
This is the best one.
to his friends at his Stag and Doe parties that Mark Saunders attends.
Did you go to the Stag and Doe?
I did not go to the Stag and
You didn't
Doe.
go?
No, absolutely. And so the fact that he's made this up 3 times shows you the quality of person you have here running for mayor.
Owned.
He's a comedian.
He's a
Okay,
comedian.
thank you. We
What's
have
that
fact-checked that, and now we are into our final
Is
speeches.
Missy,
I
was
want
Mitzi
to
Hunter
apologize
coming
to
to
Mark
Matt's
Saunders.
defense?
It's
I don't know
actually
what
the
happened
Premier's daughter's wedding with the developers that benefited
By the
from
way, this
the
turned out to
Greenbelt.
not be true either.
Thanks, Josh.
Okay, that was fun, right? We all love a good scrap, but we've got a little bit of meat to get through still. First up, strong mayor powers. Who will use them, who won't? And then closing statements, and we'll get you out of here. Let's go.
Can we have some ideas about getting more people engaged in local democracy?
Go.
In order to generate interest, people have to be interested. I have Project 224, where I'll do 200 flights of steps and walk a minimum of 24 miles.
I've been there for 4 years, long enough to understand what's going on, but not so long that I have been the author of all the problems. We
That's
spent
convenient,
3
Brad.
hours
Good for you.
relitigating the Gardner debate from 2015.
I support ranked ballots. I will not use strong mayor's
that's one.
power.
I will not impose the will of my will on
That's
council.
kind of 2.
Anti-democratic strong mayor powers.
3.
I've put forward private members bill for ranked ballots. And so I would not use those strong mayor's powers.
You
That's
have
4.
50 seconds
Saunders
on
and
the clock
Bradford
to each of
don't
you
make a claim to not
seal
use the powers,
deal
by the way,
with this
just so you
audience
know.
And those watching at home.
I skipped it because it didn't exist.
Brad Bradford, you have not yet gone first tonight. I'll give you the choice. You want to go first? You want to
Well,
go
better
last?
get used to being
We'll bring it
last,
home.
bud.
You'll bring it home.
Sure you will.
With me as your mayor, you won't be stuck anymore. Let's get a better deal for Toronto.
We need a better deal for the city
Everybody
of Toronto.
agrees.
I have the support of councillors and MPs, and I'm looking forward to working with them to get it done.
But I'm the only candidate who's actually come forward with a plan that's realistic.
Oh, you think so, eh?
That's pragmatic.
Oh, wow.
That's costed, and that I can demonstrate to you how I'm going to pay for it.
You want to see a plan?
I have put forward my plan. It's available on my website, mitziformayor.ca. It's fully costed, transparent.
Well, we need to have a leader that builds on consensus, but if necessary, makes the tough decisions. That's why I'm running.
Okay.
On June 26th, vote for less talk, more action, and someone who will get the job done.
Thank you, Brad
Vote
Bradford.
Brad Bradford.
Thank you.
All right, well, there you have it. That is the Toronto Board of Trade municipal election debate. I'm your humble host, Josh. Like and subscribe. Please do like this video and subscribe and tell friends to subscribe. It does help. You know, at the moment, this is something I'm doing for fun, but it's always nice to, you know, get a little response, get a little feedback. Let me know in the comments what you like. Did you like this? Should I do more of them? Is there a different way to do it that would be easier to watch? You know, whatever. I want to hear from you. Okay. That's it for now. Video's gone on long enough. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.